Hi, it's Double975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. Now, I'm going to be playing this in the background while I'm talking about free speech, the dangers of current legislation, and why I'm joining the Free Speech Union. Now, I play a lot of video games, I make YouTube videos, I generally talk about gaming stuff because everything I do with regards to making videos and playing video games is to escape from those real world pressures and weirdness and horribleness and and kick back and relax on a video game. Now, don't panic, I'm not looking to make my channel any sort of hard-edged politically focused channel, and I'm not planning to suddenly start taking on controversial or incredibly controversial topics. However, I have in the past done videos talking about legislational changes that have affected video games and how we communicate in video games, and things like Discord and communication between players on Xbox. There has been a push in Europe for greater regulation of this, under the pretense of it being a breeding ground for certain types of behaviours, and certainly misogyny gets mentioned a lot, hate speech gets mentioned a lot, and they see gaming spaces as being a breeding ground for these radical, hateful ideologies. Whether I agree or disagree with that, it doesn't really matter from my point of view. From my point of view, it just means that, they, as in the government, especially in the UK and in Europe, are looking more into the communication between players. So stuff you say in a party chat or stuff you say in messages between you and other players is being scrutinised and is being looked at. I would, heaven forbid that this happened 10, 15 years ago, or whenever Black Ops 2 came out, or Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2 came out, because you could have definitely said those lobbies were something else. There's still I've still got some videos from Call of Duty days with some ripe old conversations in them. So I think it's sensible to protect myself by joining the Free Speech Union, and just in case there is anything on my channel from the past, however many videos I've made, that would now fall under some sort of law or regulations, I think it's just sensible. I think if you're anyone like me who has a online presence or an online back catalogue of content, I think it's a sensible move. Now, this is not an advert for the Free Speech Union, but as a UK citizen, the Free Speech Union is what I have to protect myself against non-crime hate incidences and reports of, spreading misinformation and disinformation. I honestly don't know what it could be, because like I said, I don't tend to cover controversial topics. I don't tend to get involved in political stuff. My channel is very deliberately me getting away from any political stuff. That sort of stuff affects my day-to-day. That sort of stuff is what I deal with when I'm outside of the sphere of gaming. To me, the sphere of gaming is a politically neutral space where we just all chat and talk video games and have fun over pixels. It's a non-serious space that's for frivolous, stupid entertainment. Some people seem to take it way more seriously than others, but that's what it means to me. It means a non-political space where it's just a bit of fun. And sometimes in party chat, I'll talk politics. I will chat away merrily with other people about issues and the day-to-day stuff of the world. But in a relaxed, chilled environment where, it's just old men talking rubbish about politics and the news and in general. And that, I think, is what Xbox and online video game spaces have become. It's the same as, chatting with your friends in a pub. It's now chatting with your friends over a video game, in party chat over a headset. And with the government taking more notice of that and wanting to regulate that more, I think it's sensible to, again, look at places like the Free Speech Union to future-proof yourself against future issues or entanglements because of stuff you've said or stuff that you've discussed. It is a very weird feeling at the moment. I feel as though the UK and Europe are definitely in the throes of seeing where the boundaries are with certain laws. Now, before I go too far into this, and before like you all fall asleep from me talking rubbish about politics and free speech, I'll say, if you don't want to go any further, enjoy this ad break, and then I'll catch you on my next video. That'll definitely be about gaming stuff and no silly politics stuff. If you want to continue with this, it'll be after the ad. So we're going to take a pause to take a quick look at what you guys sponsor. With your guys' views, you help out Big Red Rooster Cockerel Rescue, helping out cocks of all sizes, all shapes, and for the love of the cock, keep watching so we can raise money for this lovely little animal rescue and save birds like my little co-pilot here. Now, I am classically a very English man, which of course means I'm Anglo-Saxon, Celtic, Viking, and I'm also oddly part Japanese and part Irish, so you know, Celtic and Japanese gets thrown in there. I'm a right mishmash. I'm a proper Englishman. I like my tea, I like my sarcasm, I'm in my 50s, I'm a grumpy git. I am very proud of this country for being the place where ideas come to get torn down. We will mock any bad ideas and cynically rip into anything. Or at least that's always been our tradition. Recently, however, there's been talk of laws being put in place to protect certain ideas from scrutiny, which I'm against. There's also been talk of backdoor blasphemy laws, which again I'm against. As an atheist, I've said some things in the past that definitely would not be viewed by super religious people as nice things to say, and they might consider it be blasphemy. You know, if I was to, I mean, they're on about, it was a member of Parliament who stood up and asked for desecration laws to be brought in for the Abrahamic religions. Now, when people think of desecration, they think of hideous acts towards churches and religious texts and things like that. But desecration is just not giving something or not exalting something as holy. Well, I'm an atheist. I shouldn't exalt anything as holy because, you know, the Bible is just a book to me. It's nothing more than, you know, I give it no more weight than the Philosopher's Stone. They're both, to me, works of fiction. Now, many years ago in the UK, that would be an illegal sentiment because it's blasphemy. How dare I hold, you know, such an opinion that something is fairy tale. And yet very soon, if I was to say those things, they could well become under a blasphemy or a hate speech law. And that is concerning as an atheist because, you know, up until a few months ago, I'd always considered it safe to be an atheist in the UK and not have to worry about saying jokes like, you know, religion is just people arguing over whose imaginary friend is the best. You know, I didn't think that would be a controversial thing to say in the UK in 2025, but it increasingly looks like it's going to become something that could actually land you in trouble, which is bizarre. Yeah, we're literally at the doorstep of blasphemy laws. There's people being arrested for silent prayer, and I'm like, I'm not really, I'm an atheist, you know. But like, how are you arresting people for thought crimes? It's just absolutely bizarre to me. And some of the directions in which the police are interpreting, there's certain laws that are being interpreted in certain ways that I feel egregiously blocks freedom of speech and egregiously attacks freedom of speech. Now, people aren't seeing it that way, they're seeing it in a much more fluffy way than I am. But I get concerned when I see stuff like this image, which the police did eventually apologise for. I can't remember, I think this was up north somewhere, it was like Liverpool or something. Police constabulary put this up, saying that it's an offence to cause offence, which it's not. There is no current legal statute that it's an offence to cause an offence, because you can't control who takes offence at what you say. I mean, you know, some of the stuff I've just said about fairy tales and books, some people will get offended by that. I don't mean it, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just expressing my opinion as an atheist. I in fact am not a horrible atheist. I don't go up to people who religiously believe and tell them they're stupid or they shouldn't believe or anything like that. I'm not one of those hardcore atheists, but if I'm asked a direct question, I will give a direct answer. I tend to be respectful of other people's beliefs. I don't see any reason to tear someone's beliefs down if that's what they hold dear to. I'm quite happy that I get on with myself, you get on with yourself, and that's all I'm very much a product of the 90s. I'm very much a kid from the meh era, where apathy was our guiding light in the 90s. I protested the things that I should be protesting. I protested against that. Oh no, I was a very big anti-racist guy. I went on marches and stuff, and I protested for the environment. Because the garbage pile in the ocean was huge. It was the size of Wiltshire, then it was the size of Texas, and then it's so large we speak of it not, and we hope someone can clean it up. Human beings as a species, some of the stuff we do is terrible, and yet some of the things we get concerned about are very weak and bizarre. People are worried about people being offended. I'll be honest, I don't really have time for that sort of thing. I'm too busy with my life. I'm too busy rushing around like a headless chicken trying to get everything done to worry too much as if an offhand comment I've said has caused offence. Hence why I'm joining the Free Speech Union, because that's exactly the sort of thing that could get you in trouble these days. Not taking the appropriate amount of time to respond to something online could get you massively in trouble. A quick knee-jerk reaction could land you in prison. So, that's why I'm joining the Free Speech Union. I'm just being sensible. I've always been of the ilk, I wouldn't say anything online, I wouldn't do anything that I wouldn't wear as a t-shirt slogan. And I think that holds true for me today. I think that's still something I would extol in others, I wouldn't put anything out into the world I wouldn't happily wear as a t-shirt slogan on a dress down day at work. It's always a good guiding light. It's always a good way to view things. I say mean things to people. I get into debates about cheating in video games with combat loggers that some of those conversations can get quite aggressive and vexatious. I'm no saint, and I've never said I am. I am someone that tends to speak their mind, can be quite blunt, and sometimes rub people up the wrong way. I'm a sarcastic English person. Like I say, England used to be the place where if you had an idea you were too scared to let it get torn down, don't bring it to the UK, because we savage stuff. Our mockery of things and can destroy entire civilizations. The British are vicious attackers of bad ideas. And if you know your history about scientific debate in the UK, it got savage. They really do lay into each other. If two scientists have a disagreement, that gets very, very aggressive. And that's how truth is discovered. You have to be willing to totally tear down every idea that's presented. That's how we find out what the truth is. That's how we work forward with ideas. You only go forward with ideas that work. And any idea that fundamentally needs the protection of the law to shelter itself from any criticism is not really an idea that should be brought forward. And that's my opinion. If you're seeking the protection of the law because your idea cannot take criticism, then maybe you should look at your idea first before looking to the law. But that's my personal opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like I say, this is not an advert for the Free Speech Union, but with the way the world's going, I think they're going to be gaining a lot of members in coming months and years, especially if the UK continues down this course of more censorship, more restrictions on speech and freedoms. They recently locked someone up for 19 days for a Facebook video, and his court case lasted less minutes than he spent days in prison. So those protections can be worth it if the worst happens to you. That's all. Thank you very much for watching.